Long time no see, JRPGers. This is Blue Sun JRPGs here, bringing you my latest video in my two-part series of the top 10 JRPGs of all time. Of course, part number 1 showed games number 10 through number 6, and this today is going to be 5 through 1, and we're going to crown my favorite or the greatest JRPG of all time. Alright guys, if you didn't check out that video, be sure to go back and watch it. But the list is pretty simple, 2 rules only. The first is that the game has to be our JRPG, and the second is that there can only be one game from each series. So it's not going to be a top 10 of all Final Fantasies. Number 5 is Chrono for the PlayStation 1. Controversy, I know. This could easily be Chrono Trigger. A lot of people do prefer Chrono Trigger, but for me, you guys know, I'm not that old. So PS1's where I kind of draw the line of what I play. And this is an amazing game. If you're looking at the graphics, if you've never played this game before, you're probably saying, what's the big deal? This game looks pretty poor. And you know what? Even for the standards back in the day, the graphics weren't really that good. I'd actually say they're even a little bit below average for the PlayStation 1 era. But this game was phenomenal. Probably the best party of any JRPG that I've had. I think there's going to be 30 or 40 characters. I can't remember now, but there's so many characters to pick from. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Really sets the tropical atmosphere. And then also, I would say that this has one of the most amazing stories I've ever had. Just the whole time elements. Obviously, it goes back with the Chrono theme. It's unbelievable, guys. You have to check this game out. You owe it to yourselves, and it's pretty cheap.
Number 4, of course, is Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga for the PlayStation 2. I was really torn between this and Nocturne, but I had to choose this one, just because it's the first one that I played. Before I played this game, I had never played a Persona game. I had never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. So my experience with JRPGs typically was of those fairy tale worlds, those cutesy anime worlds where everything is surreal almost, other than the one major problem, and you're just trying to get the world back to normal. But this game was something completely different. I had never imagined a game like this. I couldn't picture a game like this, to be honest with you. Coming from games that I played like, Final Fantasy VII's or Chrono Crosses or Kingdom Hearts even. Those games all seemed more childish, I guess. And this game was an awesome change of pace. I'm not saying that this particular style of world is any better than the other styles of JRPG worlds, but this was something that I really enjoyed seeing. And I guess it kind of opened my eyes to what JRPGs could be. And I absolutely love the combat system. Very similar to Persona. The whole game is very similar to a Persona game, and I guess that's why I love this game so much. You guys know that I am a massive fan of the Persona series, and I'm just a massive fan of everything Atlus does. You guys know that I named Atlus the #1 RPG developer of all time. Alright guys, number 3, of course, is the unbelievable Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. Now, I know a lot of people will be saying, how is this game not number 1? Or I think this game should be top 2 at least. And that's a good show. I can definitely understand that. And I absolutely love this game, guys. That's why I have it at number 3 all time for me. And I was actually twisted. I could have easily gone with a different Final Fantasy game. I could have gone with Final Fantasy IX. And to be honest with you, I even thought about Final Fantasy 15. I do love Final Fantasy 15. But ultimately, I had to go with this game. Because this game is what really got me into Final Fantasy games. It was the first one I had played. And you know what? I still think this is arguably the greatest turn-based combat game ever made. You guys will see later on in the list. I think there might be some games that have passed it, but this was the best turn-based combat I have played up to recently. Absolutely amazing game, amazing characters, amazing combat. I mean, it's Final Fantasy VII, guys. There's not really much I can say about this game that already hasn't been said a million times. It's one of the absolute greatest JRPGs, and I guess the popularity that this helped bring to the genre cannot be understated, or not be overstated. This game really brought JRPGs into the main light for a lot of people in the West. It wasn't the first JRPG I played, but it was one of the first, and I absolutely adore this game, guys. Number 2, of course, is Lunar, the Silver Star Story complete. This game was my absolute all-time number 1 RPG, number 1 video game up until very recently. It's a shame that this game is a little bit pricier, so a lot of people haven't played this game. But if you guys can go back and spend $50-$60 wherever this game costs now, absolutely pick this game up, guys. One of the greatest games you will ever play in the RPG world. In my opinion, the greatest RPG on the PlayStation 1. And that is saying a freaking lot, because I think I've already listed like 5 games for the PS1 on this list. And there are so many more great ones that didn't make the list. But, guys, this is an absolutely phenomenal game. Unbelievable characters. I think this has the best characters of any RPG I've ever played. Even the game that takes number 1 spot. I think this has the best story, the best characters, and a great combat system. This game really did everything well, and it was easily one of the best RPGs of all time. But of course, number 1 had to be Persona 5 for the PlayStation 4. What can I say about Persona 5 that hasn't been said? Persona 5 really is... It's taken everything we've learned about JRPGs in the last 30, 40 years, or however old the genre is. Everything we've learned about how to make good games, and it's basically perfected all those. Beautiful graphics, amazing story, amazing characters, in my opinion, the greatest combat system that's ever been done in an RPG. I am a massive, massive Persona fan, so maybe that has clouded my judgment a little bit. Because even if this game wasn't up here, I still would have gone with Persona 3 as my greatest game. I know some people have Persona 4, Persona 2, Persona 1, but for me, the best in the series are Persona 3 and Persona 5. And this one stands out over Persona 5, just the amount of detail and the crisp graphics. I mean, the graphics do play into this for me. They look absolutely amazing. One of the best looking games I've ever seen. This game is basically like an art book. It's like an art book in a video game form. It's absolutely amazing, guys. You owe it to yourselves to play this game if you're at all any fans of RPGs. Even if you're not a fan of RPGs, play this game and I guarantee you'll start playing a bunch of RPGs just because of it. But massive, massive thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it.